Welcome guys, Razer Vasquez back. I hope you like the new audio setup. It's gonna get a little worse before it gets better. I'm just gonna admit that right now. I fixed the mixing problem with what happened in the last video. I just played the Overwatch video too loud, and I fixed that now.
Where you been?
Even though Watch Dogs is not as loud as the game as Overwatch.
Okay.
Anyway,
Man,
I was going to talk about Watch Dogs 2 today, before the worldwide premiere, where I can actually voice my opinion and still be slightly, ever so slightly relevant. So, if you don't know, the worldwide premiere is June 9th, I believe. June 8th or June 9th, one of the days. So I just wanted to talk about the very few things that I want to see in the new Watch Dogs and I don't want to see in the new Watch Dogs. The things I want to see is, of course, the graphics update. I actually enjoyed the original Watch Dog graphics. There was something to it, that kind of grittiness feel that made it feel like Chicago, and that it was kind of simplified, that it took me back down a notch, took me away from Battlefield 4 and these ultra realistic games that I actually kind of enjoyed it. One thing I didn't enjoy about the graphics though was the anti-aliasing. It was so pixely. If you were to look at a truck or a car, you could see the pixels on a 1080p screen at least, which the game is supposed to output natively. So I'm happy. It's more of a console problem. Well, let me just start this first. It's more of a console problem than a PC problem, because you can actually adjust the aliasing in PC and then add the ultra aliasing via third-party apps. You guys really don't have that problem. The problem is with the consoles, you really got that bad aliasing problem. So I'm happy if that goes down a lot, but I still do want to see kind of the gritty kind of nature, even though California is a much cleaner place than Chicago. But I'd like to see other places. You kind of have the Bay Area, you know, they can have their own color schemes, so the Bay Area can have accentuated blues, oranges, kind of beachy colors, and then they have like Silicon Valley, which could be accentuated grays and blacks, whites, modern, very minimalistic. That's something I'd like to see. Another thing I'd like to see, which they're kind of going with, is a Grand Theft Auto-esque type shooting mechanic. They're adding a lot more mechanics now than just the point and shoot. Now you could shoot in cars. I'd like to see a slight attachment system, so maybe you can add like laser sights or scopes that improve your accuracy. I wouldn't like to see the first person point of view, because that'd just be a straight rip-off of Grand Theft Auto 5, but I'd like to see kind of a slight zoom in, almost like The Division, where if you hit the right stick, while you're zoomed in, you kind of get a tiny bit of zoom in. That would be honestly perfect for this game, and the sniper rifles work like how they used to. I don't want to see a overcomplicated movement system. I don't want to see kind of like a Grand Theft Auto movement system or a controller scheme where every button has 2 or 3 bindings depending on what you're doing, or where you have to spam A to run. I honestly hate the Grand Theft Auto controller system. I've been trying to find a simpler controller system. It's not really happening. I don't want to see a advanced controller system in Watch Dogs. I really don't think it's a game that doesn't need that. I like the new Splinter Cell kind of Ghost Recon Future Warfighter drone. Is it drone? I think it's a drone RC car that I do like. I don't want to see a overcomplication in kind of the drone mechanics too. It could go either way. You really can't screw drone flying mechanics up. If you do, I'm gonna be super surprised. I really am, and I want to see how they handle DLC. Maybe we get to see Aiden. You know, like a Chicago DLC maybe. Other than that, I kind of like to see again the accentuated colors, not only in just the map, but the radar. So again, if you're in the Bay Area, maybe a little floor marker instead of blue like it's always been turns orange or yellow, or something still very visible, or green, but something different for each area. Again, just the tiny little things I'd like to see in Watch Dogs. I'm actually very excited. I did like the first game. It was a pretty good story. I wish I got to know Aiden a little bit better. It's one of those stories where it doesn't need to be the average Joe. Like, it doesn't need to fit everyone like gamers think. It's more, if it were to give him a backstory, then we'd like him a lot more. It's not where make him silent so he's relatable to everyone. Well, Joel, is it from fuck, what is the name of the game? Joel from The Last of Us. I think, you know, he really wasn't relatable to a lot of the gamers, but he was definitely liked because he was not relatable. Give him a story, really. I really did not want to see much. I didn't have much of an opinion. I haven't been keeping up with Ubisoft. One thing though is I'm gonna look out for, it definitely are the graphics. Ubisoft has kind of over-exaggerated the graphics of a lot of the games. Division, Rainbow Six Siege, there's a bunch of older ones too, even the original Watch Dogs. They really kind of overdid the graphics way too much in my opinion. The second part of this video was just kind of test out the mic. I'm getting a lot of background noise as I can see from Audacity. So just kind of editing that. I know, my endings are bad. But stay safe, keep cracking, and I'll probably upload a video in a few days of me mastering it once I master Audacity. A video of me saying one phrase or a few phrases and then again edited, just so you could see the difference and so I could see the difference and how important editing is with a cheap microphone like this. And then in the next video, well, that one's going to be later down the line. I have a next video why I bought this instead of the Blue Yeti, which is more of a plug and play mic. You don't need to adjust anything. So watch out for that in a few days. It shouldn't take very long to make. I got a bunch of gameplay ready, just random gameplay that I have sitting around in USB flash drives. So yeah, stay safe, keep cracking, and I'll see you in the next